like these will run out and I'll have to start buying them. I probably won't. So, because I know that I probably won't want to spend a subscription fee on a game, because I've never been a fan of that, I like to use these as effectively as possible whenever I get them for free. And so not being able to play at all yesterday, I was like, that kind of sucks. But it is what it is, you know, they were having difficulties because before it was anybody that bought a pack was playing, and then it went free to play and officially came out yesterday, and they just were like, they just didn't expect the sheer volume of people, which I'm not a developer. I can't speak to that thoroughly 100%. I mean, I don't know what the difficulties are in detail, but it's still, I'm kind of like,
bless you all.
You're gonna have problems, and I understand that, and you know, there's gonna be some things that are gonna come up that you don't expect to even be a problem. That's just the way it is when you're doing anything.
Both
even when you're working on your car, you have this funny, for example, you have this funny noise in your car, and you're like, the only time I've ever heard that funny noise is when my carburetor's going out. So you take apart your carburetor, you look at it, you're like, huh, it seems to be fine. What's going on here? That's weird. But anyway, okay, I mean, like I said, I've only ever heard that noise come from my carburetor, no big deal. You replace the carburetor with a new carburetor, you start that car up, and it is still making that noise, and it is still not running properly. And you're like, what the hell? I just put a new carburetor in here, it should be fine. But then it turns out it was just a weird noise that your starter is making in your car. And your starter needed to be replaced the whole time, and so then it wasn't the carburetor. But you thought for sure that it was the carburetor because of the noise that it made. And I know that they have to have that same type of situation happen from time to time. They're like, oh, this is going wrong. It must be because of this. What? It's not because of this? Well, then what is the problem? And then, like yesterday, they said their maintenance was going to be 4 hours. It ended up being almost all day because they ran into issues that they thought would be somewhere and ended up being somewhere else. And I understand that's going to happen. But it's still like the excuse of, oh, we got a much higher volume of players than we thought. That's not a good excuse. You know, just be honest. It feels like kind of like you're trying to keep something a secret or something. Like it doesn't feel completely honest, because it's like, how long has MMOs and RPGs been around? And every single time that an MMO RPG comes out, you always, day one, have a massive flurry of players wanting to play and experience and find out if they really like this new game. That's the way it's always been, and that's the way it's always going to be. And so for them to use that excuse, I'm like, I don't know. Like, you should have already anticipated and been prepared for the fact that there's going to be a massive amount of players, because it's a new game, it's free to play. How could you not expect there to be a lot of players day one? Because I would have. I mean, so I don't know. I didn't really like the excuse, but at the same time, it's like, it's okay. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't like what you're telling me, really.